Mike's Harder Podcast bonus after hours. I'm Joe, joined by Don the Filthy Whore.
How y'all doing?
We're doing this one because we got a tutorial on how this stuff's supposed to work. So we think we got it figured out. We should have this pretty close to the same volume on both microphones, right?
Looks like it, yeah.
All right. So if all goes well, we don't know how long this one's going to be. This one's just kind of something for fun, just with me and Don, because we can't have fun like that in public. But yeah, just something for us to do, to play with the equipment and begin our hostile takeover.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
So as always, Don, what'd you do today?
Oh, today I had to go work on a job site that was being held for a special person, and he's no longer with the company, from my understanding, so now I have to go finish his stuff.
How much longer do you think you'll be on that job?
Well, it depends, because...
Well, I know you guys have been setting houses, so...
when the weather's nice, I gotta be over at the house set stuff.
Once the mud dries up a little bit?
They're talking about sending me over there tomorrow if it ain't raining.
Oof.
Even though it's going to be muddy, but I do have one end of the house that's not closed up.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of important.
It's watertight. I mean, I'm not worried about it leaking, but it ain't sheeted. Just got plastic over it right now.
Gotcha. Well, I did the same thing I do every day. I built carburetors, and then I built the distributor, and then I built more carburetors.
Yeah.
Oh. People infuriate me.
Oh, every day.
Guy got a carburetor back in April of this year.
Okay.
The note that they sent it back, the note that was with it said, it's leaked since he got it. So I'm like, all right, I'll figure out what's going on. I'll open it up. I opened it up, and the guy had taken like an end mill and tried to fix it himself. Well, guess what? He owns it. I wouldn't give him core credit for it. I wouldn't do anything with this thing other than recycle it.
Right.
Because you done fucked it up, jackass.
What's an end mill?
Kind of looks like a reamer. It's what you would use to shave layers of metal off if you were making like a channel in a piece of steel.
Okay.
It kind of like a drill bit, except that it doesn't have a point.
Okay, I got you.
So it looks to me like he stuck an end mill down where the needle goes, and he tried to flatten the surface with an end mill. So he didn't say if he wanted me to fix it and send it back, but I'm sending it back because he owns it. That's his. I ain't giving him $1 for the damn thing.
Can't say I'd blame you.
Oh, that fucking pissed me off. When they first got it back, I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll figure out what's wrong with it. But I opened it up, and I'm like, keep your dick beaters out of it if you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
You just made my job 10 times harder. So
I can see that.
I did manage to make it not leak, but people infuriate me sometimes.
Yeah.
Hooey. Other than that, it was just a busy fucking day, as usual. But
So it was busy for me. I putting kitchen cabinets in all day today.
at least you got to be inside.
Yeah, that was great.
Is it at least heated?
Yeah.
Shit. Might as well have been an office job at that point.
Kind of was. I'm a very stickler on how I do my cabinets, so it took me a long time to do it. But for the most part, you ain't walking into it and see a seam somewhere. You're not gonna feel a seam, because I try to take my time and I try to do a professional job, even though it is a rental.
Doesn't look like it came out of IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandpa was he was a finished carpenter. Among the multiple other things the guy did, he was a finished carpenter. He did Formica countertops. He did cabinets. He did trim work.
Yeah.
And yeah, the kitchen in their house was just beautiful. So yeah, I know what you mean. You walk into a place, you can tell the difference.
Right.
I mean, hell, look at my shitty ass little kitchen here. These are all used cabinets.
Well, you've seen me work because when we rebuilt your bar, you've seen how
yeah,
meticulous I'm trying to be, and you're like, it's a bar.
yeah. But you know what? I'm glad I followed your lead because it turned out fucking sweet. I mean, for what material I had,
Right.
and for what it was for, it turned out better than I ever thought it would. You know, if I'd have done this myself, it would have been, checkered cheese shit.
Yeah, I try to take pride in the work that I do, and I guess that's probably one reason why Brian called me back from Tennessee to come back here.
Yeah. I take pride in what I do too, which is why people piss me off.
No, oh yeah, people piss me off every day.
I'll stand behind my work, but not if you're sticking your fucking hands in it.
Like, I really get pissed off because the one guy that we got working for us, Hillbilly, he's an older gentleman. He's a nice guy, great guy to be around, but he hasn't been in construction hardly at all in his life. He's been in the steel mills, and he's going to try to tell me how to do things, and I've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude. No, it ain't going to work that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming by the way you talk about him, he's older than you.
Oh, yeah. He's a lot older than I am.
So, I think that just comes by nature.
I'm sure it is.
Because I've been in the workforce for 40 years. You've only been in the workforce for 20. So, regardless of the job, I probably have a better idea than you. I think that's just nature.
Right.
I probably come across that way a lot to people that are just starting. And
I could be, I could be the asshole to people and be like, oh, I'm a supervisor.
Yeah.
You're doing it my way. I don't.
Same.
Like, I will take a suggestion, and
I usually take the suggestion and then tell them why it won't work.
I do that too. I mean, I will sit there. I'll look at his, I'll listen to a suggestion, and I'll think about it for a minute, and then I'm like, no, here's a better way to do this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh yeah, that was a lot better way, and I'm like,
I'm always looking for the quicker, easier, cheaper option. Not cheaper as in cut corners, but what's going to benefit the company more? Your way or my way. Your way might get it done,
right?
But my way is going to get it done just as good, and is going to be faster, which is going to be cheaper. So
I was like, when we did the office downtown for the guy that our company works for, the landlord our company works for, I had Hillbilly working with me, and we're doing the whole front facade part of it. And he's trying to tell me how to his way of doing things, and I'm like, no, we're gonna do it like this, and here's why. And once he did it, we were all done. He looked at it, he's like, I'm glad we went your way.
Right.
Huh. I don't really get a lot of arguments from any of the guys that I work with. There's two other guys that have been doing it longer than I have. Of course, I get to be their boss. But they're both great guys, and I'll listen to their suggestions. I'll do things their way. If I'm working on their job sites, if they're on my job site, they'll listen to me and do things the way I want to do it. And they will be the ones to be like, hey, here's an easier way to do the same outcome, but here's an easier way. And I'm like, oh, shit, that is easier. So that's kind of nice working with them guys. But
I learned early on because I started at a factory at 19 and became a supervisor like shortly after I started.
Yeah.
Like within my first 90 days. There are people with good ideas that don't want leadership. And then there are people that just are there for the job. And then there's people like me. I seek out those roles of leadership.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean I know everything. It just means I have, for whatever reason, a drive. You know, I don't want to be a boss.
It's a drive to get better. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're trying to get better no matter what.
I don't want to be a boss, but I want to be a leader.
Yeah.
So once you get into that position, you find the guys, like you were saying, they're able to tell you, you know, here's a better way. That person would probably be a good leader. They just don't want the responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, they do know better ways. They know how to get shit done.
Right.
They just don't want the responsibility. So at the end of the day, those are the guys that, you know, those are your go-to guys. Like, if I'm having an issue with something and I'm unable to figure it out, I'm going to one of those guys that's done it, been there, knows what's going on, and I'm seeking out his advice.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I agree with you 100% on that.
And I don't see that as a failure in leadership. You know, some people would say, well, you should know. A leader doesn't have to know everything. A leader just has to have a team that knows the things he doesn't.
Right.
You know? So.
Well, it's like my boss, Jerry, you know, with the house set stuff, eventually our company's taking it over 100%.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've come to me and they're like, hey, we go to this next complex we're going to do, like, what kind of crane do we need? And I can rattle off the crane sizes I need. And they're like, holy shit, like, you really know. I've done over 100 of these places with the cranes. And one of them, the way the owner of the property wanted to do things, I was the first one to be like, no, this is not the way to do things. Because they want to start at the very back of the complex, at the cul-de-sac, do the ones in the back. And then as we're coming forward, they want to set a house, skip a house, set a house, skip a house.
Right.
And that's mainly because they're duplexes that he wants to set first. Because he can get them done quick, get them rented out. So he's making money off of two places instead of a one. I understand that. But then he wants us to come in after all these duplexes are put in. He wants us to come back through and pick a house up over top of another house and set it in the holes. And I'm like, there's no way. I mean, there's a way. You can do it. Yes, it is possible. But the safety aspect of it,
Yeah. Sounds dangerous as hell.
I'm like, I would not do this job. If that's the way he wants to do it, I will not take part in it.
Even if nobody was home, if you smash a duplex with everybody's property inside, wow.
I mean,
There's too many fucking videos on YouTube of cranes, you know, collapsing, breaking.
Right.
Shit happens.
yeah, for me to feel comfortable doing that, I would have to have a 300-ton crane.
Oof.
And that's a huge ass crane. Like, I don't want the responsibility of something breaking and crashing a house when people are living in it.
Right.
Like, I want the biggest fucking crane I can get. Because it's a safety issue.
Right.
And, of course, I'd have to go buy all new straps and everything because I want brand new, way overrated straps to hold this place up.
Yeah, if you're doing something like that, absolutely.
So we finally got him talked down, and we're not going to do that. We're going to start at the back and work all the way to the front, one at a time.
How often do you guys buy straps and lift stuff as it is?
We don't buy any of it.
No, well, I mean, how often is it? I guess how often is it replaced? Because I wouldn't imagine every house that you do, you've got new lift equipment.
No. I'm pretty sure we've probably been using the same straps for probably the last 10 years.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm one, I look at some of these straps and I'm like, I don't own the equipment because we're still using the previous company's stuff
Right.
until the final change is, once it becomes our baby, I guess,
Yeah.
I'm going to be ordering all new shit.
Yeah. Boss is going to be like, that's too expensive.
And I'm going to be like, you know what?
I can't afford that. We just spent all that money buying all that shit. I'm saying that because I've worked for people like that.
Right. Well, the nice thing is that Tim is the one, he's buying this company out.
Yeah.
So he's getting all their stuff. And as soon as I tell Tim, hey, well, I won't be the one telling Tim. I'll tell Jerry, like, hey, this needs to happen.
Right.
These straps are frayed, worn. If this is going to be on the Skates Construction Company, I don't want issues.
Right.
One little fray in a strap, the whole house can come down.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a monster liability.
yeah. So it's nice that Jerry and them, they listen to me about stuff like that.
Yeah.
One, because I've had the experience as a certified rigger with the union when I was in that. Like, I've been around a lot of heavy equipment, and I can make things work, I guess.
Yeah. Anything else exciting going on in the world of Don?
Not really. I really don't do much. Spend most of my time here or at the girlfriend's.
How's it going with the girlfriend?
Very well.
That's good.
Very, very well.
That's good.
She's been dealing with a sick kid this week, so I haven't really seen her much, but...
Some days I want to be a sick kid so I can stay home. Just lay in bed all day, watch TV.
In the words of my girlfriend, I feel that in my soul.
I had to leave work early today. Putting it delicately, I had to shit.
Right.
I didn't even eat my lunch because I had to go at like lunchtime. I figured, fuck it, I'll just hold it till the end of the day. About 2 something, I'm like, all right, I ain't holding this till the end of the day. So I go in the bathroom, I wing the stall door open, and there's shit smeared on the toilet seat in the shape of somebody's butt cheeks. Like, oh, God. There are 2 stalls.
Right.
But I was so turned off by the idea of putting my bare ass on anything. I was like, fuck that. I'll hold it.
Again, I feel that in my soul.
I was like, fuck that. I will hold it. Come 3 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm going home where I know it's safe to sit.
Right.
Yeah, I could have cleaned the toilet. But whoever did that should have cleaned the damn toilet.
Absolutely.
Somebody in that place is walking around with poop on their butt cheeks. That just
Was this the funny story you want to talk about?
Oh no. This is even better.
So I remember you told me right before the podcast, or before we did the podcast, that
So
I'll let you get your composure for a minute. And speaking about the whole toilet thing, there's
Yeah.
a reason why I don't poop in public places.
I hate it. That's why
I will drive my ass home.
Usually I do. But it was 2 something in the afternoon.
Right.
You know, I got my own roll of toilet paper at work
Right.
because I don't like the single ply stuff.
Yeah, I keep rolling my van.
Yeah, but I don't like using the bathroom there, so I'll clock out, come home, and go back to work.
Right.
But no, the story that I wanted to tell you. So I'm tearing apart this John Deere carb, and I got the torch out because it's coming apart a little difficult, and heating parts up and shit. And it had this muddy, mucky shit that caught fire when I was heating it up. But Amber comes out of the blast room. She walks past me to put a carburetor on the bench. And she's like, oh, that smells like a huge fart. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty nasty. I didn't have the heart to tell her that I had just let off a precursor to that turd. She had just walked into a giant cloud of ass. The look on her,
So she crop dusted herself, basically.
dude. I let it out, and then she come walking out. I'm like, uh-oh. But I just didn't say anything. You know, I could have been like, don't come over here. But I didn't. I just froze like a deer in the headlights. She walked right through it. I was like, oh, that smells like a huge fart.
Oh, I'm glad she listens to this stuff.
Sorry, not sorry. Oh, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? It smells like money.
Oh, man.
Stupid fire safe cigarettes.
Oh, don't you hate that shit?
Yes. Oh,
So what did you think of Junior last night?
that
Or I should say Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. No, he's a cool dude. I almost want to call him kid because he's so young. Cool kid, you know what I mean?
He's a kid.
But yeah,
For us, he's a kid.
yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was good conversation. It was good topics. I mean, you fuckers kept me away from politics and taxes.
Thank God.
You can tell he's really dedicated to his kid.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, because his daughter came up multiple times.
Yeah, he's proud of her, and
It sounded like having a kid kind of changed him. You know,
I do think it did. I mean,
I think that's with anybody, but I mean, I don't know what he was going through before,
well, you know,
but
Junior, I hope you don't take any offense to this, but back in the day when he worked for us, he was constantly taking days off of work.
yeah,
Like, he just didn't want to come in. And I understand a lot of it. You know, he's young. He wants to do other things. And
Party
blah, blah,
time.
blah. Yeah, well, he's never been much of a partier. But there's other things that go through your mind as in a young kid's age. 'Cause
I don't mean party time necessarily is going out drinking. Party time can be anything. Party time could be I want to stay up until fucking 4 a.m. playing video
well, yeah,
games.
yeah, I agree
You
with you
know?
on that. But it got to the point, like, he'd come into work for 1 or 2 days a week, and then he's done the rest of the week or whatever.
Yeah.
And it got to be a joke at the shop, like, are we going to take bets on if Brian's coming in today and blah, blah, blah. But ever since he had his kid, I give him a lot of prop. He's coming to work 97% of the time.
Got to bring those numbers up, son. Those are rookie numbers. No,
But,
I
I like some of it I do get because like he'll text me in the morning and be like, "Hey, I'm not coming in today. Daughter was up all night long screaming." I've been a parent.
Yeah.
I've had kids. I understand. Like, I'm not a dick. Like,
it is what it is.
now I'm kind of like, "Get your fucking ass to work, dude." But
Yeah, I had a good time talking to him. He's for his age, he seems pretty level-headed.
yeah, he ain't bad. And the fact he's actually willing to learn now, now that he's had the kid, he's grown up a lot.
The way he described you as a good teacher, you know, that showed that to me. That showed that he actually wants to learn how to do the stuff. He's not just there to fill a spot, you know.
Right.
So he doesn't just want to carry your tools. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to have him back on because there's so many
I
other.
I want to have him back on, yeah.
So many more topics we can go over,
Well,
talk about.
and we talked after the show was done with. We talked. He's told us some other things that we won't talk about tonight because that needs to be on a podcast with him.
Right.
But there's other things he could talk about that I think would be a good thing, I guess.
Then you mentioned earlier his interest for Metallica,
Oh yeah, he does like his Metallica.
and I've got a little bit of knowledge on that subject,
Yeah.
so that'd be fun too. I quiz him and see how bad I can stump him.
Right. Yeah, that'd be. I'm sure you're going to stump him a lot because he is young.
Well, his age, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I started listening to Metallica a long fucking time ago, and he's in his early 20s. So, yeah. I mean, I probably know of songs he's never even heard of.
Well, he's the same age as.
Red Basket Blowhole,
Yeah.
what, 25?
Yeah, 24, 25, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Okay. Yeah, I probably know of songs he's never even heard of.
Oh, I'm sure.
Especially like in the days of cassettes when you had an A side and a B side.
There's one I played the other day. Well, I didn't play it, but it was on my random. Harvester.
Harvester of Sorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking Harvester Sorrow, but I knew there was another word in there somewhere. But as soon as the intro hit, I'm like, Ryan, you know who this is? He's like, he's rattling off stuff, and I'm like, no. He's like, I was like, it's Metallica. You've been wanting your fucking Metallica. Here's your Metallica. He's like, this ain't Metallica. Yes, it is.
Oh man. I got one for you. It was actually originally a Queen song. This was
Oh, you played that one for me once.
it was actually at one point it was me and my brother Jerry's favorite Metallica tune. It was the B-side to the Enter Sandman
Yeah.
cassette. Let me see if I can find it here.
I remember you telling me
know
about
it.
the song and you played it for me. I'm like, oh, dude, this is
My
nice.
phone's listening to me. I knew what the song title was, but I didn't know if I could find it fast. That was quick.
Phones are always listening.
Oh, I know they are. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of it after the damn commercials.
Oh, you always gotta have a commercial on there.
Fucking commercials.
At least it's not Christmas music.
Yeah, I'll bet he would not have a clue.
No, he wouldn't.
It's off of one of the Garage Inc. albums.
That before you introduced me to that, I would have never had a clue it was Metallica.
I could tell by the guitar and as soon as the vocals kick in. And it doesn't matter if it's Kill 'Em all the way up to the new shit. As soon as Hetfield starts to sing, I know who it is.
Yeah. Yeah, once I hear the lyrics, I know it's Metallica. A lot of their songs I know because of the guitar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's Metallica.
I remember when what the fuck was it called? The one with fucking blood and cow semen on the front of it. Load.
Oh yeah,
When Load came out, I was working for a print company in town, and I was working second shift, and they were gonna release the first song off that album at like 10 o'clock that night. 10 o'clock. I was amped all shift. Keep in mind I was like 18, so
right.
I was full of energy and shit. So me and this guy named Harold that was the press operator, we got a local radio station playing, and they keep hyping it up and hyping it up. By the time it came on, man, I was so wound up. I was running all around that press and shit. It was fucking. It was cool because I hadn't actually listened to a fresh release up to that point. I'd always
Right.
heard them after they'd been out for a day or two, So yeah, I was all wound up. It was fun.
I bet.
Harold, who was my age now, just looked at me like I was an idiot. But he let me be an idiot. Oh. Well, brother, you want to call this test a night or you want to keep going?
It don't matter to me. I got nothing going on, so
I'm scratching my head thinking about shit to talk about. I just really wanted to tell that fart story.
yeah. Yeah, I really don't know much to talk about. I guess we can call her quits. We're 30-some minutes into it, so
Well, nice little bonus episode, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. It's a pretty good bonus.
All right. Well, y'all want to fact check me because I'm drunk a lot, so I'm wrong a lot. Oh, Don's got a phone call.
Yeah, I've always got phone calls. Spam shit.
Mike's Harder Podcast at gmail.com. You can find us on X, Mike's Harder Podcast. That's the one I run. Colton runs all the other accounts, like the Insta and all that shit.
Yeah.
So you want to get a hold of us, do it that way, or shoot us a comment or a message through YouTube, and we'll ignore you just like we do everybody else. And as far as that goes, y'all have a good one.
See y'all.